Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Project 3. Now where this falls in the semester, you are still probably finishing up Project 2, but I'm going to go ahead and move forward with Project 3. There's a bit of an overlap. If you are someone who hasn't procrastinated during Project 2, this should be no big deal and you can just shift gears. For those of you who kind of waited till the last minute, you're going to feel like this is a really heavy load right now. So get done with Project 2. Okay, so Project 3. I'm having you develop what's called a 5-year plan. Now, a lot of times in technical writing classes, business writing classes, pretty much any professional writing class, they're going to have you do some sort of job materials creation, right? Job materials meaning a resume, application, something of that nature. And the problem becomes if you are somebody who's, say, a digital literacy concentration, is that you get the same assignment over and over and over again. So this assignment I decided was to think a little bit more broadly. Yes, one of the things you'll be producing is a resume, but for a different purpose. And so just like this class is probably not at all what you thought it would be, neither is this assignment. So the idea here is that I want you to take a long view of yourself and professional writing and your career. A lot of these sorts of questions get really difficult for students because there's so much uncertainty, and sometimes you get kind of tied in knots when you don't want to make the wrong decision, right? You don't want to make some catastrophic decision that's going to affect you for the rest of your life, and so you choose to make no decision, right? I see a lot of students that struggle with all those sorts of things. Also, the future is an unknown thing. I mean, it's the future. We can't know it. But this should give you an opportunity to do more reflection about it and to actually write things down. So in the middle of that first paragraph, E.M. Foster was an author who said, "How do I know what I think until I see what I say? How will you know what you think or are planning or hoping for to happen in the next 5 years if you don't actually write it down and think about it first?" So the project is designed to serve any of you at any stage. So in the class right now, I know that we have at least one senior, probably a couple that and I know we have even freshmen. So we have a wide variety of students. So some of you are ready to graduate and get on with your lives. Some of you are in the early stages of your college career. Either way, planning the next 5 years is a systematic way of getting from point A to point B. So if you're headed into a career, you really get to visualize. Maybe you're going to be a teacher, and 5 years from now, you're going to be in a classroom. What will you be doing? If you're a freshman, what you're doing instead is mapping out the next 5 years of getting through college systematically, get the job done, and in your first year of work, right? And so that could help you to think about like what classes to take and when, the kind of internship you want to apply for, just those sorts of things. So it is kind of tricky to think about a 5-year plan. This Dara, I'm not even going to try and pronounce her last name, says it's better to optimize for the next 1 to 2 years instead of 5 or 10 because chances are the world would change up on you. And that's true. But at the same time, she encourages you to look for the right opportunities, stay flexible, and have some idea of what direction you're headed in. So nothing is set in stone. But again, there's that old adage that if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. This is your chance to sort of aim for something. Even if it's a little off target or things change, at least you have a plan. So the project is a little, the audience for this project is a little different than before. You're still writing to your classmates and me, but in reality, you're writing to a future you. And so that means that you need to develop things that are actually going to be useful to you in the future. Yes, it's an assignment. Yes, you have to turn it in for a grade, but take the opportunity to really map and think and plan because it really could benefit you in the long run. Okay, so what form will things take? What's the mode? There's going to be 3 different deliverables. And I'm going to go ahead and shrink that so you can see all of it at the same time. First is a scenario where you're going to imagine yourself on a particular day doing whatever job it is you think you want to do 5 years from now. What are you going to be doing? What kinds of writing will you do? What would be awesome and hopeful and worth striving to get to? What kind of a position and what kind of tasks in that position would motivate you to get through the rest of college and go for that goal? Okay, the scenario is going to be written in a short memo format. Again, we're trying to learn some genres of professional writing even as we're doing these other assignments. So think of a formal memo to me and to students. It's going to have description, samples maybe of the kind of work that you'd like to be doing. It could even include pictures if that's helpful to you. But the idea is a memo where you're envisioning yourself. It's a little bit creative writing, so you got to kind of put your creative writing hat on a little bit, but it really is meant to be practical and useful. So the second thing is a resume, and like I said, every technical writing, every professional writing class has you create a resume. The difference here is that I want you to create a resume, and then I want you to write a reflection about that resume. What does that resume say about you? So in some ways, you're going to write this resume, and then you're going to do a rhetorical analysis on the resume. What are you putting forward? What does it say about you? What might employers look at and see when they see this resume? So that's probably going to be, it could be like 2 pages. Some of you might opt to do like a side-by-side comparison where you have your resume on one half of the page and then your reflection on the other half. There's lots of ways to do it. I'm not super picky about those. So the last thing that you're going to need to produce is a plan or a map for the next 5 years. You're going to think of goals that you might have, how you want to reach them, and what are the steps that it will take to get from point A to point B. So maybe I would say in this particular case, I would begin with the scenario. Begin with asking yourself, what would it look like to be really happy in a job or doing whatever in 5 years' time? Okay, so once you begin that, you can map and think, what are the steps that I need to have or to take to get from where I am now to that goal? So say you want to be a lawyer, okay? So you've got to get through your degree, but there's a couple things during your degree that you can make sure you do. Perhaps you're an English major or a communications major, and then maybe you're going to take a couple classes on law through let's see here, OLS is the college program department that has those sorts of things. Maybe you're going to try and get an internship at a law office. Maybe you're going to, I don't know, read some stuff. Maybe you're going to study for the LSATs. Maybe you're going to take the LSATs. You get the idea. There's lots of steps and stages to get from point A to point B. So then how will you be evaluated? Essentially, I'm looking for exigence. Basically, all your documents are composed in ways that make sense to the reader and to you. It responds to some sort of urgency. Remember, that's what exigence means. Development, I'd like this to be thorough. So remember that you are your future audience. So if you do kind of half-ass work here, you're going to have a half-ass project, right? Sorry to swear, but that's the reality. So really take time with this. Use the opportunity. You've got this project in class. Use the opportunity to truly plan for your future. I'm looking for it to be organized. It's going to have a couple different documents at play, so we'll probably turn it in sort of a portfolio system. Organization is really key. For this to actually work for you and to be beneficial to you, you've got to know where everything is and how to find it. Right? Readability and mechanics, kind of the standard stuff. Write it in such a way that's professional and that is well edited because, again, we're trying to practice the modes of business. Okay, so that's the basics of what we're going to be doing for Project 3. I will probably have subsequent videos. If you've got questions, let me know. And if you need me, you know how to find me. Take care. Bye.